Paul with Pro, and in this video I'm going to show you how easy it is to run your own ads on Disney and Hulu because they're both the same platform. Now back in the day, this kind of OTT or over-the-top advertising, if you remember the cable boxes that used to be on TVs back in the day, this kind of advertising was limited only to people in the advertising industry or part of particular networks. Well, now this is self-serve. Anybody with the money and the willingness to do it can go ahead and do it. So the first thing you're going to do is you'll go to DisneyCampaignManager.com and you'll go ahead and sign up, and this will go ahead and take you to the sign up form. And then once you've got that account all created, you'll be able to go log in to the back end of the campaign manager. Now I'm sitting here in our sandbox account here, and so we're going to go ahead and create a campaign. Very first thing you're going to do is go ahead and give this a name. And remember, we're following the OAK framework, which stands for Objective, Audience, and Creative. We talk about this all the time, and there is a link to a blog post in the video description if you want to go ahead and learn more about this. But you'll see that this is a very lean, very straightforward campaign launch because unlike things like Google or Facebook or any of those social channels, there's only a limited amount of stuff we can do because we're advertising on TV. So first thing you want to do is go ahead and give this campaign a name. I'm just, for example, I'm going to go and use the name of our annual charity festival here, the Dead of Winter Fest. And let's say that we want this to go ahead and you give this a line item because this is what's getting approved when you send it in for review. So I'd call it like a Dead of Winter Fest, round 1. Something like this, and then you can set the date range you want this to go for. I'm going to go ahead and have this run the week of my birthday for funsies. Now as far as the budgeting, there's a minimum $500 required here, so if you're wanting to experiment with this, it's a much more costly experiment than if you were to use Google or Facebook or something like that. So make sure that you've got some good creative. If anything, test the video beforehand to make sure that you feel confident in using it on these platforms here. So, of course, the objective is views. And in that video, you should probably be giving a direct call to action. We're not going to go ahead and cover direct response stuff today, but if that's not obvious, you're running ads, people can't click, they're just watching it. There better be a call to action and something for them to do. So that's, of course, the objective. In this case, the O is just video views. Of course, there should be a better objective. From there, we move into the A, or the audiences. Now, as I mentioned before, the targeting is much more streamlined compared to what you can do on social. So, for example, if I wanted to, I'm going to go ahead and say run this in Phoenix, and you can also use DMA regions if you want. I'm going to just say Phoenix in general. And here's the city. You can choose genders, you can choose age groups. Unfortunately, I'm only going to choose these age groups here. I would like to have 21 and up because we do these shows at venues where they serve alcohol, but since we can't, I'm just going to run it 25 to 50. Now here's what's cool. For the actual specific audiences that we're targeting, you've got a little bit of flexibility here. So there are certain demographics, characteristics. There's a bunch of data here, so I'd recommend just poking around, seeing what's available here. There's third-party data that's coming from the data providers, the standard ones that all the other big guys use, and then Disney has its own that it's collected here. So for example, I'm going to say that this is for fandom entertainment. Actually, where was this? I was looking for... I literally just saw this right before the video, and I was like, this is what I'm going to use. You go, music and performances, and then rock music, because this is a heavy metal festival too. So you can choose category-specific audiences if you want. You can even choose the platform too. I'm going to just say living room because I only want this to show up when people are watching on their TV when they're in Phoenix. And as far as the content targeting, this is the only other layer that we have. We can choose what do we want people to watch. Because it's heavy metal, I'm going to go ahead and say people that like music. I'm also going to choose horror and suspense because there's actually a lot of overlap between that, between horror and the heavy metal crowd. So that's that. You don't have any choice if you're going to advertise on Disney or Hulu. It's the same. So you just choose your basic demographics, and then if you want to do some interest audience selection, you can. From here, you can go ahead and look at some delivery options. Now, Usually frequency isn't something that you have to worry too hard about if you're advertising on a social network or something like that. But because it's going to be showing up on somebody's TV, you really don't want to bug them. So for example, I'm going to say something like, don't show more than 3 ads per day. In fact, the default that you can do is, depending on the number you choose, you can choose an hourly, daily, or weekly cap. So for example, if I just choose 1, I can only say, hey, don't show more than 1 per hour. So just be aware of that. But for example, I'd say like 3 a day. And then we're basically done. All you have to do here is upload the video. Now, there are some really strict technical specifications, so I would highly recommend checking those out. Otherwise, it may take a little bit of troubleshooting to figure out the right, proper, exact video format they need. Remember, this is going to be going on TV, so it needs to be very high quality, at least a 10 MIPS bitrate, and at least 192 CD quality audio here. So you would upload your video, and I'm not going to do that just to save time for the upload here. And that's it. So we've now set up our objective, which of course we know is video views. We have set up our audience targeting here. And then, oh, one other thing I want to point out is you can exclude TVMA or not yet rated content if you want, depending on what you're going for. You may not want to have your brand associated with that. So you would check that box to exclude it here. And then set some delivery caps. And then for the creative part of that, you can have up to 3 videos per line item or per campaign. So you'd upload your videos. If you are using Avast, which most people that are doing self-serve are not, but if you are, cool, you can use Vast here. And then you would just go to the campaign review. Now you're not done here. You do need to make sure that you submit this for review. So you can see that this is telling us it does need an ad because of course I haven't uploaded a video yet, but if I had uploaded a video, once it's all ready to go, I still need to go click submit for review. And then from here, if you have not put a credit card on file, you go ahead and put a payment amount, and then you just go ahead and submit the line items, and it takes a couple of days to approve, and then your ads are going to be running to the audiences with the videos that you want, and now you are on Disney and Hulu. How cool is that? So obviously the video is the magic here, and so make sure you do plenty of research and produce a very good, high quality video. Make sure that the video has is a direct response video, especially for the people that are going to be watching this. You're usually smaller type things. You don't want to do brand awareness. That's for the big guys that just have money they can throw away. If you're running an ad, you want to be able to go ahead and directly attribute that ad to some behavior, to some activity. So I'll give you a tip. If you're going to go ahead and use, probably use a website, or a QR code, maybe there's a number where like people text, make sure that that is distinct per the campaign at the very least. Ideally, it can be per video, and it can be as simple as just doing a redirect. So like bpro.events/DOWF1. And that would be for this, which then, of course, that can redirect wherever I want it to go. But I know that all traffic from this campaign is coming exclusively from this particular, because I can look at the traffic. So the traffic to that redirect. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, that's how easy it is to advertise on Disney and Hulu. And if you have any questions, feel free to leave it in the comments. And if you're going to do anything, you might as well be pro.